In the cold rain of a fading twilight, where the boundary between life and death is as thin as a strand of silk, a warrior falls. He does not fall because his blade was dull. He does not fall because his spirit was weak. He falls, burying his face in the mud, for a single, unconscious moment. His left shoulder slumped, just 1 inch. To the eyes of a mortal, that single inch was merely a fleeting sign of fatigue. But to the eyes of the reaper, it was an invitation. It was a crack in the void where the soul revealed its fragility. His enemy did not strike at his flesh. He struck at the shadow of that imbalance. Blood spills, mixing with the rain, washing away years of agonizing discipline, all vanishing, because a structure of bone and muscle betrayed its master in the final hour. The world often weeps for the fallen, but few understand the true anatomy of ruin. We imagine battle as a symphony of flashing steel and thunderous war cries. But Miyamoto Musashi, the solitary demon of the sword, saw a truth that was far more cruel and silent. He pierced through the souls of men not by their words, but by how they stood between heaven and earth. Posture is not merely the arrangement of limbs. It is the mirror reflecting the order or the chaos within the mind. A curved spine is the weight of anxiety made visible. A wandering gaze is the trembling of a fearful ghost. Musashi taught that before the blade is ever drawn, the outcome is already written in the way you plant your heels upon the ground. Today, we do not speak of the techniques of slaughter. We step into the dark, profound interior of the way of walking alone. We will dissect the posture, the ultimate secret that allowed Musashi to survive 60 duels to the death. Prepare yourself, for this truth may shatter the illusions of stability you have clung to for so long. In the Book of 5 Rings, amidst the ink that smells of old blood and dried sweat, Musashi carved a concept that defies the logic of the mortal flesh. He spoke of the body of the void. To understand this, you must strip away the vanity of the modern man. You must imagine a body that has become a vessel for the universe. Empty of ego, yet heavy with intent, Musashi commanded that the face must remain unchanged. Whether sipping tea in the quiet of dawn or staring into the eyes of a dozen bandits, the expression does not flicker. This is not a mask. It is the absence of fear. The neck must be a pillar of iron, aligning the skull with the heavens, ensuring that the mind sits high upon its throne, unshakable by the chaos below. Look at the shoulders. The common man carries the weight of the world upon them, hunched by the burdens of yesterday. The warrior drops them. He lets the gravity of the earth pull the tension down, leaving the upper body light, free to move like smoke. But the true secret lies lower. It lies in the tendon, the center of gravity, 2 inches below the navel. Musashi taught that while the spirit ascends, the body must descend. You must tighten the belly, not to look strong, but to store the thunder. Here, in this soft vulnerability of the gut, the samurai concentrates his entire existence. It is the anchor. When the sword strikes, it is not the arm that swings. It is the tendon that erupts. This is the posture of the void. It is a terrifying contradiction, to be immovable as a mountain, yet fluid as a river. When you stand like this, you do not just occupy space. You command it. You become a ghost of heavy iron, impossible to read, impossible to break. But why is it that when despair grips the human heart, the head bows low? Why is it that when shame burns through the veins, the shoulders collapse inward? It is because the body is not a separate vessel. It is the shadow of the soul cast upon the physical world. And the spine is the lightning rod of the will. Musashi understood a truth that modern science has only begun to whisper. The geometry of your bones dictates the geography of your mind. A bent spine is an act of treason against one's own dignity. It is a physical admission of defeat before the battle has even begun. When you slouch, you are telling the universe that the weight of existence is too heavy for you to bear. You are signaling to the predatory instincts of the world that you are prey. The master swordsman demanded that the combat stance be no different from the everyday stance. This is the profound tragedy of the disciplined life. There is no rest. There is no off. To stand straight only when the sword is drawn is a lie. It is a performance. And in the face of death, all performances crumble. True power lies in the spine that remains vertical, even when the heart is breaking. Think of the spine as a sword sheathed within the flesh. If the sheath is bent, the blade cannot be drawn. The moment you straighten your back, you are not just aligning vertebrae. You are aligning your chaotic thoughts with the strict order of the cosmos. You are pulling yourself out of the mud of animalistic instinct and rising towards the heavens. To correct your posture is to correct your spirit. It is a violent act of will. In a world that wants to crush you into dust, standing straight is the ultimate act of rebellion. But the battlefield has changed. The smell of iron and blood has been replaced by the sterile hum of air conditioning and the silent, suffocating glare of screens. You do not face a Ronin armed with a katana. You face a swarm of invisible enemies, anxiety, distraction, and the crushing weight of 1,000 digital demands. And yet, look at you. Look at how you meet this enemy. You sit curled in your chair, your spine shaped into a question mark, your head jutting forward to worship the glowing rectangle. This is not the stance of a warrior. It is the posture of a victim. In the eyes of Musashi, you have already been cut down. You have surrendered your center of gravity to the machine. The modern world is designed to make you small. The car seat, the couch, the office desk, they are all traps of comfort, engineered to soften your edges and lull your vigilance to sleep. This is the rust that dulls the blade of your mind. When your shoulders roll forward, your lungs are compressed. You take shallow, panicked breaths, feeding your brain with the oxygen of fear. But the way of strategy is timeless. You must bring the spirit of the duel into the boardroom, into the traffic jam, into the solitude of your room. Applying Musashi's posture today is an act of silent warfare. When the pressure mounts, when the noise becomes deafening, do not shrink. Do the opposite. Engage the tendon, drop the shoulders, lengthen the neck. Turn your chair into a throne of discipline. Ground yourself into the earth. When you straighten your spine amidst the chaos, you are creating a physical boundary. You are saying, the chaos stops here. Inside this frame, there is order. Every time you catch yourself slouching and you force your spine upright, you are sharpening your will. You are pulling yourself out of the hypnotic trance of modern existence. You are remembering that you are dangerous, that you are capable, and that you are awake. To stand straight in a crooked world is the hardest fight you will ever face, but it is the only way to keep the sword of your soul from rusting in the scabbard. The grave waits for us all. It is the only certainty in this chaotic dream we call life. When the final hour comes, when the breath leaves your lungs and returns to the wind, your titles will mean nothing. Your wealth will be dust. The only thing that will remain is the memory of how you faced the storm. Did you cower? Did you fold? Or did you stand? Musashi did not write his final words in a palace of gold. He wrote them in a cave, alone, preparing to die. He understood that a man's kingdom is not made of land or subjects. It is made of the space within his own ribcage. So, I ask you now, in the quiet of this moment, where is your crown? It is not on your head. It is in your spine. Do not wait for the world to give you permission to be great. The world wants you on your knees. It wants you small, compliant, and broken. Defy it, not with a shout, but with a shift in your vertebrae. Right now, wherever you are, feel the gravity pulling you down. Acknowledge it, and then rise against it. Pull your shoulders back and expose your heart to the dangers of the world. Tuck your chin and look destiny in the eye. This simple movement is the shedding of your slave skin. It is the coronation of your true self. Stand tall, not because you are arrogant, but because you have suffered enough to know the value of dignity. Stand tall, because to slouch is to insult the miracle of being alive. Be the mountain that the wind cannot move. Be the void that the sword cannot cut. Walk through the fire of your daily life with the posture of a monarch who owns his pain, who owns his fear, and who owns his fate. Stand tall like a king, for if you do not rule yourself, you are already a slave.